Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Full Force News Burst, brought to you by GeneralsJoesReborn.com with me as your host, Christopher McLeod, AKA Diagnostic AT. Man, we don't do any lives for ages, and then 3 come along at once, right? It's like buses. So, lots to get through today as well. Of course, there's the amazing final tally that the Rattler HasLab reached, which we'll be talking about probably in massive detail today. In terms of the leaked images, there's just a few silly ones, but it does give us a nice look, even though we haven't already seen a great look of the actual final version of Raptor's wings, but it does give us a nice little insight to Raptor's wings. And on top of that, we've got a few other little incremental bits and pieces to talk about. Wrath of Cobra sort of update, and also a Skybound bit of news, which is really cool as well, because I want to talk about that a little bit more, because I've just gone and got involved in that, hoping and wishing that I get chosen to for that one. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm definitely not going to win it, but you know what I'm saying. Hope everyone's doing well in the chat. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, I will explain myself, of course. Yeah, lots of you in the chat already. Hope you're all doing well. Detective Dirty, I said 28k, by the way. Well, yeah, we should really discuss that, shouldn't we? But first of all, I don't actually know what's first because I'm an idiot. I think we're talking Skybound first. And if we are talking Skybound, should I do the comics bumper? I should, shouldn't I? But that's only if we're doing Skybound first. I really have to double check these things. Yeah, I think we're doing Skybound first. Right, let's do comics then. And this is always a good one to check out because it's a cool tune. Let's do it. And I should also do that. And I should have a single like comics like graphic to be utilizing here. Do I have one of those? I don't think I've got a single one. Ha! Yes, I do. It's like you're seeing into how the sausage is made by the sausage himself. Anyway, cheers. Hope everyone is doing well who's just joined. Loads of you in the chat already. It's amazing. Let's talk about this Skybound competition because it sounds amazing. So you can win tickets. This is kind of celebrating the issue 1 of G.I. Joe from Skybound. And I'll read out what it says on their website. Now, link is in the description if you want to. Link in the description, sorry, if you want to get involved with this. To celebrate the historic launch of G.I. Joe issue 1 from Joshua Williamson, Tom Riley, and Jordi Belair on November the 13th, we're hosting an exclusive celebration in LA, Los Angeles, the City of Angels. This includes a screening of G.I. Joe the movie, brackets 1987, but making it very clear that is the movie we're talking about, followed by an exclusive panel discussion featuring Joshua Williamson and more to talk about the movie, the Energon universe, and more. Enter the secret code G.I. Joe 1, all caps, on the Skybound Insiders activities page today for a chance to win tickets for you and a guest. Event details: G.I. Joe the movie 1987 screening at AMC City Walk, Wednesday, November 13th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. I'll be there at friggin' 3 days prior just to make sure. Anyway, I am very fortunate have been able to see the G.I. Joe movie in cinema, so I'm happy with that. I'm not going to necessarily be really upset if I don't get to see this, but it's really cool and it's a really good way to promote, issue 1 of the comic. And yeah, just again, really excited for this. And I hope everyone gets involved. Now, you have to be involved in the Skybound Insiders. So you can go to, and I'll read this out for you. Excuse me. Where's their Skybound Insiders link? You might be able to just, okay. When you go on that link that's in the description that takes you to win tickets to celebrate G.I. Joe, if you just go to the top right-hand corner and log in, if you haven't got a Skybound Insiders login, then you can create one by signing up in that same section, and then you can sign up for insiders. And then you literally click on enter code now on that previous thing I was talking about, the actual link that you can go to. And you enter that G.I. Joe 1 code in the Skybound Insiders secret code section, and you'll get 500 points earned, and it'll tell you you've been successful. There's a little video as well on the same link page that shows you how to do that. So effectively, you've got to be a Skybound Insider, and you've got, I don't even know what that really means in the grand scheme of things, but effectively signing up for Skybound's kind of, bits and bobs. And then you have to go and input that code onto this link as well. So I think this is, if you want to go see the movie and you want to go and see all the people involved in the issue 1 of G.I. Joe from Skybound, and you want to talk about that stuff with people and have a lot of fun, then you can do that. Like I said, link in the description for all the information. I'm literally just, saying what's on the actual website. But I did it a second ago, and it's really simple. Chris has the gas to get there for sure. Do I, though? What's up, Soda Commander? Hello, Darren. What have you missed? Not much. I've just been talking about this Skybound competition, but we have completed that section now, but sort of related to comics. So I'm not going to change the graphics just yet. There's a kind of Wrath of Cobra update. And I say update, it's not really a crazy update, but it does give us some more information. And here we are, we're still in the comic section. The reason we're in the comic section is because this was printed in issue 4 of Scarlet, which is out today. Printed, I should say. I don't think it's on the digital version, because I have the digital version and couldn't bloody find it. So it's probably on the printed like physical copy, which is on its way to me as well. I do get involved in a big way with these comics because they're amazing, and Scarlet's been great. I've really enjoyed it. Anyway, in said comic, this comic ad for Wrath of Cobra popped up. So I like the fact that, 1, we're dealing with a vintage computer game, and 2, they're doing the promotion for this computer game in the most vintage way possible in a comic. I mean, that's peak nostalgia right there for me, and I love seeing Wrath of Cobra promoted in general. We don't know when it's going to be out just yet, but this just kind of pushes it a little bit closer, doesn't it, to kind of suggest that it's coming soon. I would imagine before the end of the year, and I'm going to be reaching out to the creators of the game again, and probably try and set up another interview again. I've wanted to do this for a while, and I haven't done it yet, so I will reach out to them after this episode and see if we can get some more information regarding release date, reason for the kind of, I mean it's pretty clear what the reason for the holdup is, and that's explained at the bottom of that page. PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, Steam, something else. Oh, it's all the other. Yeah, sorry, it's all the other logos for the involvements. But yeah, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch, and of course PC. So the reason it's taken this long to actually come out is because they weren't intending to launch with PlayStation, Xbox, consoles basically. So the fact that they are now, that's where the time has gone in creating, making the game compatible for those formats. So there you have it. You can actually reserve your copy, I believe, on Steam. I'm not sure if you can reserve it elsewhere, but you definitely can on Steam by using that QR code. But I wouldn't use the QR code from this image, because this image is really poor quality. Also, massive thanks for the heads up on this to Mark Seddon of Talking Joe. He was the one that sent this to me in the first place and said, hey, look, this is in Scarlet 4. So thank you, Mark, on that one. In any case, very excited for this game and can't wait. Can't wait. Stygian could. He could absolutely care less about a Joe video game. No offense to anyone. Totally fine, Stygian. We're all interested in different things, are we not? And it's totally fine if you're not interested. I, on the other hand, am throbbing at the bit. What? Chomping at the bit and throbbing somewhere else to get this game and play it. Anyway, that's Wrath of Cobra. That wraps up the comics segment of today. We're going to move on and we're going to talk, obviously, the biggest news I would say of the day, and that's HasLab. Rattler HasLab. I'm using this image just again because it's awesome. One to also kind of illustrate an interesting point here. The fact that the Rattler has become the biggest HasLab for G.I. Joe to date. It has broken the record that the Hiss held previously at like 27 something, right? Yeah, it broke 28K. That's nuts. That's nuts. I had it, and like my low end was 22 and my high end was 24, Kitty said. The fact that it obliterated that, just nuts. Absolutely crazy pants. And anyway, that it kind of illustrates the point here, doesn't it? Ferret, that didn't make any money from HasLab. The Vamp, what did that do? Just sold out instantly. Of course, the Hiss tank did amazing things. The Sky Striker prior to it was one of those things where you kind of thought that, well, that is where the maximum G.I. Joe like hardcore is. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's when that happened with the Sky Striker. I was thinking, okay, yeah, we almost got to unlock all of, we didn't get to unlock every single tier with the Sky Striker, but it was a successful campaign. But it was kind of like, that's where I thought the fandom was in terms of numbers. And then we get the Hiss tank, which does ridiculously well. The Dragonfly, which did, like, again, really, really well, didn't quite reach the Hiss tank, but it wasn't far off. And then the Kickstarter from Skybound for the Real American Hero. I know it's not technically the same thing, but I'm just kind of like trying to paint a picture here of how far off I was in terms of where I thought the fandom was in terms of numbers. And then that Kickstarter did almost $4 million. And you kind of think, whoa, I got this way off. I was way off. And then this goes ahead and becomes, like, out of all HasLabs, was like, what, fourth best? I don't know, actually, off the top of my head. I know, yeah, Galactus was big. I know a couple of the Marvel ones did like late 20s, early 30s, didn't they? Which is impressive and amazing, but that's expected. It's Marvel, for goodness sake. And I say that, though, but then you'd probably say the same about Star Wars at one point, and that has definitely struggled with a number of campaigns, hasn't it? Like, they've had a few that haven't made it now, like Rancor. There was the lightsaber, the kind of like Inquisitor style one. What else was there? Was there something else that they didn't make it? No, I think the Cantina made it, didn't it? Yeah, the Cantina was the last one, wasn't it? And that did really well. But again, you sort of expect it. Well, I didn't expect them to fail, but you sort of expect the success there with those sort of brands. And I guess it's just years and years of like G.I. Joe being in that kind of era of, yeah, we've got some cool stuff, but it doesn't last very long. I mean, it still did. I mean, we had a good run on 4-inch for a very long period of time, but it was still like, it was incremental within that era of figures. You had different segments of it kind of coming in and then disappearing. And yeah, a lot of that was movie-based sort of related. So they don't hang around very long anyway. But we also had the club to kind of keep us going in the kind of leaner kind of periods. And then when the club dropped off and decided to, not continue, we had this like real like period of, well, like odds and ends, really. Like, sneakers came out and a jacket and a couple of 12-inch sort of figures and stuff. It wasn't really, there wasn't really anything really grabbing people and doing amazing things. And then Classified comes along and it just reinvigorates G.I. Joe to an amazing level. And I think I would say that Classified had its hand in creating more buzz around the Kickstarter for Skybound. Not saying that it wasn't the sole reason. I think Skybound is also another factor to throw in there as to why Skybound did really well, and that kind of almost $4 million ridiculous, Kickstarter and everything. So I don't know. What I'm getting at really here is just how off I was when I kind of thought about the G.I. Joe fandom as a whole. Anyway, Aluminium Von, there you go. Cookie Monster didn't make it. Yeah, but he needed patches, Leon, absolutely. But yeah, I was talking technically about Star Wars specifically, but unless Cookie Monster is canon in Star Wars, yeah, I was quite sad when Cookie Monster didn't make it. That was like the second HasLab, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it wasn't too long after the Katana, was it? The Jabba's sail barge, Jabba's sail barge. Anyway, so yeah, this Rattler, incredible. Now I posted like first thing in the morning when I woke up and saw what it was, refreshed my page on the thing to see what the final score was, and it said something like 26,000. I thought, well, that's great. That's way higher than I was expecting, and amazing. And then, there were a couple of comments on the thing saying it's gone up again, and I was like, huh? So I looked at it again, refreshed again, 28,096 backers. I guess because things with the technology they're dealing with, I imagine there's a lot of testing payments. And when those payments are tested, because I've seen that as well in certain industries that I've been involved in, you see where you get like unsuccessful attempts at collecting payments, and they can happen multiple times before it get actually collected. So I think there was a lot of that going on, and the tech isn't that smooth as well. So yeah, anyway. Oh, that's another thing. Yes, the international orders. Yes, there was some. That's a thing, isn't it? I think Liquid Identity 101. So Darren's filling me in even more here, but this is true. 27,309 at finish, which I wasn't awake for. 26,903 at 7 a.m. EST, which I posted about, and then 28,096 final. Amazing. But yeah, there's always that there's always that little sort of bump at the end. Not even like, obviously there's the spike that you get for people jumping on the FOMO and all that kind of stuff, but as in there's always like an additional bump of numbers one way or the other, and they just decided to go both ways at the end. We'll say 27. No, it's 26. No, it's 28. Which was amazing. And I mean, 26,903 or whatever would have been an amazing final number. 26,903 would have been highly respectable. I don't think anyone would have expected it to surpass the Hiss Tank numbers. Genuinely, I don't think anyone would have done. I say genuinely anyone would. I know some people did expect it to surpass, because some people actually guessed 28K. But yeah. Star Wars Cantina did 14,700 plus. Marvel Giant Man did 13,800 plus. The Rattler did the same number combined of both of those. That's pretty crazy, Eben, isn't it? That is mental. Just got here. Have we determined if this was the third or fourth highest HasLab total? Galactus was 31, yeah, 20 over 29, and the last Transformers was 28.6. I think it could be third then. Genuinely. Don't forget the cardboard background, says Gomez. Exactly. Do you remember that? The whale is a must, says Robert Yanes, as the Brandalorian also wants the whale. Yeah, we'd love a whale. No, there's no fourth tier, guys. I think there's just, I think it's just one of those things where people want it to happen, so all of a sudden a rumor emerges. As long as G.I. Joe and Transformers do HasLabs, they will fund. Marvel Legends fans get mad that toys cost money and they are not free. Star Wars and Marvel Legends fans are bad investments for Hasbro, says Big Lob 235. Interesting point. Jedi says, Jedi Dan 211, Jedi Dan says, I really believe they were going to add another tier to the Rattler. I guess we shouldn't expect 3-figure tiers anymore, not after this success. I'm confused there. Are you saying we shouldn't expect 3-figure tiers, or we should expect 3-figure tiers? Oh, sorry, because there were technically 2-figure tiers. Yeah, I see what you're saying. No, I wouldn't say that, Jedi. I think that there was a specific reason why they didn't do the extra figure this time, and that was because of the size of the vehicle, and that meant that costing, they had to work that out. So I don't think that's necessarily something we'll see in the future, just because we spent loads of money. I don't think that'll be the case personally. I think if we have a next one, and if it's the same, I mean, if it's about the same size as a Rattler, yeah, you're gonna end up with fewer figures. But what this does is it tells Hasbro that if they do a big vehicle, people are interested. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in more than interested, like record numbers interested. So it's not just the case of, they're going to look at this and just do 3-figure tier, or they're just going to do, the 2 tiers for figures going forward. No, I don't necessarily think that's I think it would be different based on the vehicle they're doing. I genuinely do believe that, because I think this was one of those things where I would imagine the team would have wanted to do another figure, but because of the size of the Rattler and all that kind of stuff that goes into it, they had to, cut and manage elsewhere. They had to cost things out, and it just made sense from their perspective at the time, that they are looking at the broader picture in terms of how much this stuff's going to cost. So I don't necessarily think we're going to be, just from now on, we're only going to get 3 figures, like the main one that comes with it, in 2 tiers. I don't think that's necessarily the case. It depends really on the vehicle in question. I think if it was a whale, I think that would be a 2-figure, like, the figure cutter, for example, and then 2 extra figures. I don't think you'd be getting an extra figure with a whale because it's massive. But if it was if it was something maybe like a Mauler that has been talked about based on some of the interesting foreshadowing that you might be thinking is happening, then I think a Mauler might get you an extra figure. I don't think it would be too ridiculous a size for it to have to cut a figure out of the lineup. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm not the be all and end all of this. That's just my opinion. Excuse me. I suppose what's the word? The proof is in the pudding, isn't it? If next year we get a vehicle that is smaller than a Rattler but has that same amount of figures come with it, then I will concede and go, looks like Hasbro have thought about this and they've gone, yeah, we did all right last time, let's do the same thing again. And despite what, and I know it's different because you have to separate them, but the brand team and Hasbro as a company are almost 2 separate entities. I mean, they are and they aren't. I definitely think that because I mean, there wouldn't be an almost department in order to cost things out, like an engineering department or like whatever department or whatever conversation would be happening if the brand team were playing by the rules, if you know what I'm saying. Like if they were going, okay, well, we have to make sure that this is gonna work from the off, where we don't have to cost anything out. Clearly the brand team want to give the fans as much as possible, but then it gets to that point in the blooming company where it's like, we can't really go, do you know what I mean? Like we can't really do that. This is what we can do. And then there's like a negotiation probably. And it's usually more of a, we're going to tell you now, it's no negotiation. This is what it's going to be. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much, honestly, about that. I'm a bit afraid next HasLab might be only patches and t-shirts with the vehicle as the last. Pedro, that's hilarious. And you've got a cookie. Is that it looks like a Cookie Monster emoji, but I think it's just like a little blue ghosty. But it's quite funny. It just reminded, like, the fact you're talking about HasLabs, it just reminded me that, the Cookie Monster. I have to wonder if they will do a non-electronic basic version of HasLab Joe vehicles at some point, says Carl. Yeah, I still think they'd be crazy not to release a redeco over his tank. Just why not use the tooling again? Why not? you know, and again, you could do it so that it doesn't, you know, you don't go all out with it. Maybe you just fill in the electronic sections, or you retool it so that there's a, you know, there's no actual access to like a battery section or whatever. So I definitely think it would be worth them doing just as a, you know, retail kind of item, or Pulse exclusive, because that's effectively where it would work, isn't it? If it was a Pulse exclusive, kind of like, I don't know, like a Arctic Hiss, just throwing it out there because that's my favorite Hiss version. What are your favorite Hiss versions? I'm never going to get to them because I'm already way behind on comments. Cheers, but this is a fun conversation anyway. But yeah, I think that'd be crazy not to. And if we don't get a tiger fly in the future, I will probably tiger cry. The whale, never going to happen, says Flaffle. I mean, who knows? They might push this as far as they think they can. And the only way that it doesn't happen is if we don't allow it to happen by not funding it. So that's sort of one of the reasons they do this. It's so they can really push the boundaries a little bit and go, do you want it though? Is this the highest HasLab in dollars? How much were the others? Don't know, actually. Not a clue. I'm sure I'm sure. What is it? Is it Geek Dad? I forget the name now, but I'm sure, like, where they do all of the, you know, the analytics of all the HasLabs, and they did that one that was all of the GI Joe ones, kind of, and how that's the Rattler just surpassed them all, which is crazy, isn't it? Either way, whatever the situation, right? I have to say, I couldn't be happier with where GI Joe is. Like, you know, the classified series is just freaking nuts, and it still has the same effect on me every single live event, every single special pre-order event, every single post that's made. Like, I'm still getting that kind of buzz of excitement of like, oh, you know, and then doing all the, you know, the listings and the detective work and the leaks and all that. It's all really exciting still. And it's clear that people are still into this stuff. I mean, there's your proof right there on screen right now. 28,096 backers. A target of 9,000. 18,000 was what we were aiming for. And it has absolutely decimated that. Yeah, anyway, crazy pants. I hope the whale is next, says Von. I had to have wild weasel, says Stygian. The whale would be too freaking big, and I imagine very expensive, Kitty said, says Wilfredo. Yeah, I mean, it might be so big that you'd only get an extra figure. Extra figure was purely cost issue, says Chris G. Yeah, that's what that is what it is at the end of the day. It's just, that's all it was. I think most of the success of Classified can be attributed to the quality of their figures, says Venom. Yeah, totally. And I think, yeah, you're right. Turn a blind eye to the gummy weapons. Absolutely. There are still issues with it not being exactly perfect. But honestly, I couldn't be happier with what I see in this room right now, which is 2 solid IKEA bookshelves full of classified figures and vehicles. Like, it is nuts. And I look at it and I soak it in every day. And I've got all of them. There isn't one that has come out that isn't on display. Like, I've got like all of the different retro versions of the Baroness. You got like the retro Baroness, the coil Baroness, the 3-pack, you know, like they're all out basically, all of them, all the Cobra Commanders. I mean, it's nuts. You've got Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, which I managed to pick a Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander up loose, not loose. It was carded, but as in separate from the Hiss tank. For a very reasonable price. Like, I'll just say, it was $60. Isn't that nuts? Anyway, I know the price might be low anyway in general, but this was a while back. So I picked that up and thought, yeah, he's out now. So I've got one carded in my HasLab and one out there at the moment, the Mickey Mouse one. I've also got, you know, your Once a Man, your Regal, your Cobra Commander version 1 with the darker blue, your Snake Supreme. There's so many Cobra Commanders. I didn't even think about it, really. And like 50 Zartans. I know there's not. I know it's like 3, but it feels like 50 Zartans when you're trying to organize your collections. Anyway, that's by the by. It's just in a great place right now, and the like you're expecting. I think there was an expectation. I think when the Dragonfly came out, and it wasn't as good as the Hiss tank in terms of the numbers, and I mean, it was and it wasn't, but it was close, but it didn't have the same feel as like the Hiss tank did when that first dropped, right? Because you see almost like a little, I don't know, like a not a downward trend at all, but like a slight drop, and it was slight. It wasn't big in any way, shape, or form. You kind of expect it on the next one as well, and you expect that trend to just taper a little bit. You know, the excitement to kind of like peter out a little bit, or the, you know, the satisfaction, like you've got what you need. You don't necessarily need this, or you don't need that, or it gets too much, or it gets overwhelming. And this just makes it feel like, okay, we're going back up again. So I don't know. There's a couple of things here as well at play. I would say the Dragonfly is amazing, and it's one of my favorite vehicles of all time. But the Rattler is arguably, if not it is, more iconic as a vehicle, because it's got the double whammy of not only being a Cobra vehicle that everyone just thinks is really cool anyway, because it's got that Cobra added angle, but it's also loosely based on, like not crazy loosely, but it's loosely based on the A10 Warthog, which in itself is an iconic looking vehicle. Everyone knows the A10. You know, it's not crazy pants. Sorry, I've missed so many comments. I'm going to have to skip a lot. I'm sorry, guys. If there's anything I've missed that you want me to talk about, I will obviously just to put it in again, and I'll try and get to it again. But I've skipped to the end and I've missed a lot. My apologies. Oh, people have got some numbers for us. Dragonfly 24764, Hiss 26772, Rattler 2896. I mean, that is massive, isn't it? That's massive. Obviously, the Hiss and the Dragonfly, there is, again, if you're talking a drop off, then this upward trend for the Rattler has negated that drop between those two and gone beyond. So that's pretty damn cool. Battle platform, says Flaffle. That'd be cool. It's because they slow rolled the add-ons. That's why it kept momentum. Battle platform would be a coffee table. Small children would climb on it, and big children. Cobra vehicles always sell better. They will, yeah. Well, yes and no, Big Lob, because I think the Vamp did really well. I think it really matters on the you know, how, you know, iconic it is, really, more than anything. But Cobra seem to have some of the most iconic vehicles, don't they? At this point, I want HasLab G.I. Joe furniture, says Black Genghis. That's amazing. I'd love that too. I hope that we get to a point where we can get some classified versions of some of the more modern lines, Montana Jones says. Yes, I like the thought of that too, actually. Or even like characters that have appeared later on. I know we've got Helix, but I'd love to see, you know, Bomb Strike. I'd love to see, who else do I want to see in the kind of like latter, kind of like mid period to kind of like, well, there's lots actually. I mean, Shadow Tracker's another one that's been done already in the line. By the way, Shadow Tracker's underrated as a figure. That I got it recently, courtesy of Paul from Plastic Battles. Thank you very much, Paul. Really appreciate that, mate. Now that figure is well underrated. I didn't, you know, I think from the images and the product photography and stuff, it wasn't really blowing a lot of people away. I think when I got that in hand and looked, I'm like, God, the detail, the sculpt, all of the kind of cool stuff he comes with, I just thought he was amazing. I really like him. Anyway, there's one for you that's kind of later, modern, that obviously Classified dealt with. But yeah, I'd love to see more of that too, definitely. Chris, will you be bringing up if 2025 HasLab is already in works when you do interview with the team? Yes, Johnny, but I think we already know the answer to that. They've talked about it at SDCC, I want to say. But yeah, I'll ask the question just to, I think that was one that I wanted to kind of mix in with talk about the Rattler as well, because obviously we'll be talking about that at some point too. I'm curious which HasLab sold more multiples than others. I wonder if the Rattler had more unique purchases as well. Hard to say, isn't it, Jamie Lynn, without the full analytics. The HasLab and smaller item sales proved the fans want more. I think now is the time to do a yearly 200 price point vehicle opposite of the HasLab. That's impressive, Talib. This could get us the Thunder Machine, Snowcat, or etc. Yeah, I mean, where did the Thunder Machine and Snowcat go? Who knows? But I would say I wouldn't necessarily think they'd need to be $200 for those two vehicles. I think you could definitely get them in like a 150. Probably even get them in, I don't know. I reckon you could get them in at 100. If you can do a Stinger and a Vamp, I think you can do a Thunder Machine. Snowcat might be a little bigger. But I know it's a long vehicle, the Thunder Machine, but it's within parameters, I would say. I would love a classified Tombstone. Yes, actually, that's a good shout, Montana. Yeah, that's a newer character from the 50th. Absolutely. Valor versus Venom High Tech, please, says Ed. Yeah, that would be a good one. Daniel says Shadow Tracker is cool, but feels knockoff Predator vibes. How dare you, Daniel? And this is coming from a huge Predator fan. Huge Predator fan. I'm 6'4", I'll have you know. No, I'm like a huge Predator fan. But I thought Shadow Tracker was amazing. Bulletproof, Salvo, Bullhorn, Dried Iron, Cesspool, Wraith. Who's Dried Iron? We don't have Big Lob yet. No, we don't. Juggernaut Jones, but that would be great. Scott says Shadow Tracker is a pain to pose. Yeah, probably. I think I was more like impressed with its satisfaction in my hands, Kitty said. Dawn Moreno couldn't care less for the character, but a figure would be amazing. I don't know, Leon. I think Dawn Moreno... I'd love a Dawn Moreno, 100%. But yeah, I'd absolutely love a Dawn Moreno. The Dragonfly outsold the Hiss tank in units per day. Dragonfly was 44 days at 563 a day. Hiss was 48 days at 558 a day. The Rattler was 47 days more. I see, at 598. Wow. Thanks for the detailed info there, Darren. That's actually good to know. Hasbro made about 9 million today. Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? Gridiron, right. Thanks, Biglot. Dried Iron. I was like, I can't even work that out. Gridiron, though, that makes sense. Captain Gridiron would be great. If you'd said Captain Dried Iron, I might have caught it. Shadow Tracker is in my top 5, says Brandalorian 88. Yeah, I think it's great. I want IDW Cobra Commander with a post Chuckles head sculpt. Black Genghis, yeah. The like the bullet going through the glass. Yeah. Spoiler alert. Crake, wasn't it? They called him? Or was Crake following after the commander was killed? I can't remember now. Either way, yes, a Cobra Commander like that would be great with the little kind of like what they called fangs that kind of clipped underneath the chrome faceplate. That was a really cool design, actually. Classified Resolute figs, yes, indeed. Black Genghis, indeed. Classified Lifeline, Meow, absolutely, Stygian. I think the Thunder Machine would be a good 150 to 175 range. I'd want a jet engine noisemaker. Yeah, definitely. Venomous Maximus is a good shout, Big Lob, yeah. Wraith is a great shout, Emmanuel. Absolutely great shout. Shadow Tracker is dope, says Just Under Anderson. Do you think the Hiss would have done better if the Asian market and European markets Pulse were available, says White? Yeah. Yeah, I think probably would have been. I think if you do open it up to that, it's gonna be more, and therefore it would have done better. But I'm quite happy with where this is, and maybe that will get them to do so, if you know what I'm saying. It still seems like the brand is still gathering steam. It does, yeah. Would Havoc be a HasLab or retail, says James? 100% HasLab, and I'd be there for it. I'm sorry, I would. I know a lot of people don't like the Havoc for what, maybe because it's not like, too realistic, his tank. But no, the Havoc, I would just be blown away at how cool that could be. So cool. No more HasLabs for the rest of the year, says Holonet. Yay. What's weird is Pulse hasn't taken my money yet for the HasLab 49er, Brian. You better get onto them for that, because they probably should have done. Flaffle says, I'm telling you, Rattler will be scalped heavily. People passed on the Dragonfly because they never saw the hiss in hand. Now a ton of Dragonfly FOMO after the hiss came in hand, so people bought extra Rattlers to scalp. Oh, well, let them do it. Let them do it. Havoc is bigger than a hiss, so pretty sure it would be a HasLab, 100%. Anyway, dude, there's a lot of comments. There's so many people on the stream again tonight. What is going on? I go away for a couple of weeks and everyone loses their minds. This is great though. Thank you very much. You're all lunatics. I love it. Give me a stun and motor viper, says George Greeno. George, what up, dog? And absolutely, stun and motor viper would be phenomenal. And then give me a Pythonized version, please, and thank you very much. If Ramen could do tanks, so can Hasbro. Sorry, I missed that comment. I'm going back to it. Says Daniel. Daniel Dabs. If Ramen can do tanks, so can Hasbro. Let's go. Tanks for classified. I could see them doing it. I could see them doing a Mauler. I could see that happening. Did some people have issues with having to re-enter payment methods, says Johnny? I imagine there would have been some issues for some people on that. Yeah. For a Havoc, the scout ship needs to be an actual drone for the HasLab. That would be great, wouldn't it? You could. It's probably light enough to be able to do drone technology on it, but it would need 4 as opposed to 2 propeller things, wouldn't it? Probably, right? You need 4 for a drone. I might be behind drone technology as it happens, but either way, it would be amazing. Pass on the Havoc. Get out of here, 49 O'Brien. We are no longer friends. I'm just kidding. Again, like I said, I fully expected there to be a reaction like that for a lot of people. I know it's one of those kind of, it's an interesting vehicle. I just think it's beautiful. Havoc would be awesome, especially with the movie re-release and the introduction of Cobra La figure, says Josh B. Absolutely with you on that one. Fastraw would be a great figure. Flaming Crow, he would be amazing figure. He'd have to be a deluxe, wouldn't he? I think to get the gear right, I think you'd have to do a deluxe for that one, because we get in heavy duty. He's going to be a deluxe figure. He's obviously coming with a desk, and of course all of the weapons gear that he comes with, I'd imagine. It's funny that we haven't seen any leaks for that weapon accessory, because you'd think that would be everywhere right now. We've seen his head sculpts, so you'd think there'd be that. What would it be? The backpack connected to the desk set, the missiles, the machine guns, and all that kind of stuff, and the little eye visor thing. You'd expect to see something like that by now. $125 Thunder Machine. Take my money, says White. I agree. I'd be all over a Thunder Machine or a Snowcat, I have to say. All over it. Top repaint, says Scott, ? I absolutely want Deke Zorana. Yeah, same. Sonic Fighters Viper. That would be great as like a Viper, like... I know we've got a Viper officer, but something like that. But yeah, you could just do a retro-carded Sonic Fighters retro card, which I think they are so late in getting to with the retro series. I would be dropping in 1 different card back in each retro series. That's what I'd be doing right now, and I think people would be eating that up. So where we're getting another Viper on the retro card, right, which is obviously a closer approximation to the classic Viper, I would have just done that. I would have done that as a pre-paint retro card back Sonic Fighters Viper, and that's what I'd have just done. That to just mess with the norm a little bit. Like, give us different retro card backs, please, and thank you. It's time. It's time we moved away from the black background explosion card back. Like, we need to start seeing new retro card backs, and I don't necessarily see it in the near future, which is a shame. Tiger Force Jinx, 100%. I think we'll probably get Tiger Force Jinx if they do some sort of retro Jinx as well, for like a movie release Jinx. So we'll probably get that then. I don't think they do a Tiger Force version of the one we have. Although, how cool would that be if they did a Tiger Force version of Jinx and changed her tattoo to a tiger? That'd be pretty cool. It wouldn't make any sense. I know. Like, she would have had to have major tattoo, like, removals situation going on, and then have another tattoo, or tattoo over the tattoo she already has. It's not realistic, but this is G.I. Joe. Baroness in the original classified scheme with the purple hair and gold trim. That would be a good one, Scott. Yeah, that classified early version with the purple hair would be really cool, I think. We're getting a for blimmin' hire in like 6 months' time, but you know, we're getting for hire toys, that is. Yeah, I'd like to see, and this is probably going to happen because we've basically seen the pre-paint of it with the Rattler, but that blue and yellow Baroness, I think, is going to happen, and I think it's going to be amazing. We're all fiending for full force addicts, indeed, Chris. A stun would be cool. Good idea. Yes, it would. 100%. Okay, I've got to miss a load of comments. Sorry, we're going to move on. There's so many comments, guys. This is great. I love it. It's amazing. I just can't keep up. You're all amazing. Right. So Rattler, HasLab, 28,096 backers. Congratulations to the G.I. Joe brand team for, you know, again, absolutely clacking it out of the park. Insanity pants. Right, next up. And we're still in the same, I'm not doing any more explosions today apart from the end. So Bad Wolf Media. Well, I've missed a big chunk of the show. Stupid work, but I had to jump in because that Rattler final number was way more than I had guessed. Yeah, sorry you missed all that. We had a nice little conversation there, or I just spoke to a wall, but you know what I mean. I'm chatting with you guys. It counts, right? They didn't even do the digital background and updated logo for the post-85 retro cards. I know, Leon, and that is something that it doesn't bother me because I kind of feel like they're going to keep to a theme or a kind of, what's the word, a look, and I get that's fine. It's not a problem to me. What bothers me is they've got all these amazing card backs in Ninja Force, in Sonic Fighters, in Supersonic Fighters, in Tiger Force, in Python Patrol, in Iron Grenadiers and Battle Force 2000, and there's more, Battle Corps, Star Brigade, all these amazing differences in the cards over the years, and all we've seen so far is the same background on all the cards. I just want to see them do it's a great way to do these crazy repaints, and repaints, it's like bread and butter for keeping costs down but giving us something really cool. How cool would it be to get a repaint of a figure in the Sonic Fighters colors? I'm looking at you, Road Pig. I'm looking at you, everyone else in Sonic Fighters. You know, like the Viper, which we'll probably get our, you know, I imagine they will try that should still be on the cards once this new retro Viper comes out. But like, I'm looking at, you know, Dial Tone now, and who else is in there? Well, some of them are completely new builds, aren't they? Like Zap. Dial Tone was a repaint, though, wasn't he? Tunnel Rat was a repaint. Like Law was a repaint. It's like, give me those, please. Like on a retro card, I'll take that as a repaint because it's so different. It's so different. And it's like almost like an acceptable thing. Like it's happened already. It's homage. It makes sense. Falcon, Scott. Yes, indeed. We might get one though eventually. Now that we've got a Night Force one, a proper one. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Bikini Zarana, says Ray Zenner. Yeah, maybe. Sonic Road Pig, Night Force Zartan. Exactly. That's more like it. But in any case, Zartan would be a different figure altogether. But again, I'm here for that and would love it. If they're late with delivery of the Rattler next year, would you consider it as a problem? No, Mr. Mad Gus. The problem is if we got it soon or on time and there were loads of issues with it. What I want them to do, personally, is make sure it is perfect to the point of it being a great thing for everyone when they get it in hand. That is what I want. That's more important to me than getting it delivered on time. The fact that the Dragonfly has been pushed a couple of months, to me, no biggie. Just get what you need to get done. If it takes a little bit longer, it takes longer. Like it's gonna get here. Just, you know, for me, it's just I'm happy, I'm patient with that kind of stuff. I heard somewhere else that we will most likely get a set like the 788, but for the Dragonfly. Do you think that will be possible for the Dragonfly? Yeah, I do. I think we're probably going to get something like they've done. You know, they did the Hiss, and then with the Hiss coming out, they did a bunch of other things that sort of went along with it. What's interesting is the Stinger also works really well as a kind of companion piece with the Hiss and the HMS and the 788 Fireteam. It all works really nicely together as like a combined color scheme sort of thing. Looking at them all now lined up there, looking amazing. But yeah, I think, yeah, they'd be crazy not to do some sort of like additional sets to come with the Dragonfly's release. And technically we've already got Airborne, so I think he's one that was supposed to be sort of out at the same time, even though he was out way before now. They should have taken more time on the Sky Striker, says Rachel, and I agree with that 100%. I'm so stoked to get my Dragonfly now because of the Rattler, says Scott. Yeah, me too, actually. Well, I've been stoked for the Dragonfly for ages, but it wasn't until we started talking about it in here that I remembered that it was actually coming again. I was thrilled when they pushed the Dragonfly back because that means they found a problem and needed to fix it. Same. Like, it's like, would you rather they took off on when you're on the runway? They're like, oh, there's a bit of a problem, but we're going to fly anyway. It's like, no, you double check that problem, and I'll sit here on the tarmac for another hour if necessary, because I don't want to be. I'd rather that gets sorted and everything is fixed while I'm on the blooming runway, rather than, oh yeah, there's an issue, but we're 10,000 feet in the air, like on the climb. I mean, not all the way up, but you know what I'm saying. Next HasLab 100 patches with 3 patch unlocks. That would be rather funny. And they shouldn't do it, but I would laugh. What about the smaller companies that don't have any issues and still get the vehicles out on time? Just under Anderson, I would say it's also quite rare that smaller companies are perfect in that sense as well. You know, you could say, well, what about when Hasbro get their product out before they said it was out? Is that like taken into consideration? Do you know what I mean? Like, and again, good on the smaller companies for getting through what would be probably larger issues to get their things out on time. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it doesn't happen with smaller companies every single time. I can name you probably about 10 companies now that have constant issues with getting product out when they set up pre-orders and send that information out to be like, here's the expected date of delivery. Like, it's expected because that's what it should take. But then there's loads of other things that happen, and you can't take, you know, you can't like account for a lot of things, and some things are out of your control and so on and so forth, right? When they can get stuff to you in time, it's just great. That's a bonus. Brilliant. Well done. You get all the plaudits. I still would suggest, I'm not saying that they should delay it anyway. If it's going to come out on time and everything's been checked and everything's cool, brilliant. But like, if there's an issue, take your time is what I'm saying on that one. And I think, if anything, smaller companies that get their stuff out in good time and there are no issues and everything's perfect and brilliant absolutely deserve a round of applause on that one. But very rarely is that the case, I have to say. If all goes as planned, I should be getting the Rattler around my 50th birthday, said Derek. Yeah, that'd be amazing. And also happy birthday, Derek, for next year around this time, maybe. Tiger Force Jinx with Tiger Sting pre-paint Rattler 4x4 with Vipra. I like that white. That's good shouts. Anyway, sorry, lots of comments, and I'm not gonna get to all of them. There were problems with the Dragonfly when they unboxed it. Wild Bill's rank was wrong. Glenda's face was less than perfect, among other issues. I really did not see the issue with Glenda. I don't know what that was all about. Anyway, but yeah, there were. I don't think it was just. I think there was other things involved as well that they needed to get right. Bad Wolf Media says, right now, the problem I would like Hasbro to fix is getting back to the your pre-order will charge soon emails, because not getting those is getting old. I have to agree with that. I think you have to have sorry, I was trying to multitask and I can't do that. I can't remember what I was talking about here. Yeah, sorry, yeah. I think you have to have some heads up for people, especially when it comes to money and payments and stuff like that. I just think it's a bit off if everything gets put into the same kind of area and comes out at the same time as well. Like, and I know that's kind of happened to a lot of people in the past where, you know, a lot of pre-orders have come out and then everything happens at the same time. And it's like, holy crap. But anyway, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Definitely think that should happen for people who are doing pre-orders. Scott says, I got them for the stuff I ordered before the website changed, but nothing post-upgrade. Interesting. I talked to Hasbro support. They did not know emails were going out. That makes sense. That makes sense. The update to Pulse has been a disaster. Yeah, well, I mean, like anything, like any update with any website and anything like that, yeah, there's going to be bugs, but it has been rather difficult, hasn't it? Although I say that, having used Pulse the day that it was updated and had no issues whatsoever. Don't rubbing it in or anything, but I think the trick was to use a like kind of Chrome on desktop sort of situation, and you sort of avoided a lot of the glitchy issues, or glitches as they're known, glitches. But yeah, it was a bit crazy, wasn't it? We should get a discount on HasLabs if we submit flag points. I'm with you on that one, Ryan. I've got loads. I've got loads of them, and action points as well. If you're, you know, old school UK-ish, like I am. Right, that's the Rattler. Well done, amazing stuff. 28.96, Bosch, 28,096 backers. Everything unlocked. Everyone's happy. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's that. Next, then, and these are images from Shaw Lu again. And I love this. I know it's not really a massive major leak here. It just shows obviously Raptor's wings on the Sarge and the Frag Viper helmet again, or head sculpt, I should say. But it kind of gives us a nice little look at the size of the wings, the size of the feckin' things. Again, like the Sarge is a big old boy, so that is, you know, it's a decent set of wings, isn't it? And the Frag Viper head looks oddly well proportioned to the Sarge. A lot of people have been saying, do I think the Frag Viper will be quite a hench dude, like a bigger size of a kind of guy? And then I kind of go in my head, I go to like think about what Lenny would say on like a live stream, and I could hear him saying, well, I looked at what the Frag Vipers do, which is lug grenades as hard and far as they can, and thought this guy has to be, you know, quite hefty to get a lot of power in there, maybe like some sort of, you know, like a discus thrower or like a shot put thrower or something. That's the kind of thing I'd imagine him talking about on the stream. When you could kind of say, yeah, but if you ever watched High Lie, Lenny, the guys aren't all massive. The High Lie guys are actually quite thin, kind of like agile kind of guys. But obviously there's a lot of strength in there too. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure their arms are pretty, you know, pretty hench. But yeah, you kind of look at the High Lie kind of sport. Not saying that the Frag Vipers are just playing High Lie, but they do utilize Cesta, which is obviously from High Lie. But anyway, and yeah, and what is interesting is, yeah, the modern Frag Viper, the 4-inch one, yeah, very scrawny, Rachel, very thin, mainly because they use that, what do you call it? Snake Eyes body. But yes, indeed. The original Frag Viper, I don't think, you know, obviously a lot of the figures were very similar in the size and the shape and all that kind of stuff. But the Frag Viper was like a solid looking figure, quite thick, I'll say, with lots of C's at the end. Yeah, and like the card art, you know, he's a kind of strong looking, big, muscular sort of character. So, you know, I could see them going that direction, and I could see Lenny talking about it and going, well, you know, we looked at the the specialty, and we thought, yeah, these guys have to be quite hefty to lug these grenades and that kind of stuff. So I can just almost see that could be a possibility. Now, what will probably happen is the Frag Viper will come out. It will be standard body sort of size, like a Trooper, Tele Viper, your officer, Night Creeper sort of like stature, and we'll all be like, oh well. But yeah, yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that one, I guess. I haven't actually seen this figure. I would love to, all I've seen is this helmet and the Cesta and the backpack that everyone else has seen. I would love to see what this looks like. I hope those wings don't just peg on with the one little hole the back of the figures. Nyctimus Prime, it doesn't. Does it? I'm pretty sure they talked about this, didn't they, on the stream when they revealed Raptor? But there's like isn't there like a thing where it kind of like fuses into something on the back? Or am I thinking of something else? What am I thinking of, guys? I'm pretty sure it's one of those things where I'm thinking of something else. I don't actually know how his backpack attaches. Come to think of it, do you remember what I'm talking about, guys? It was one of the characters. I might have it in hand now, where the backpack or the gear on the back almost connected with something on the back of the figure, like it locked in, and it wasn't just a peg. It was like lots more to it than that. What am I thinking of? Metalhead. That's what I'm thinking of. Thank you, Flaffle. What I'd done there is I'd taken that live stream and thought that's exactly, and just put it to the Raptor one. No, I have no idea actually how it connects. I don't think they showed that. They didn't take it off, did they, on the video? Anyway, I think you're probably looking at just one peg, which is a worry, to say the least. Anyway, but anyway, it's a big old thing. And anyway, we get to see some nice detail on the wings. And again, we've seen these wings in reality now, so it's not like the craziest, coolest image ever. But it's nice to see at this stage as well, and just kind of like get an idea of what we're dealing with. And they look phenomenal. I'm really into these wings, and I'm really into Raptor. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see it genuinely in hand. I'd laugh if it'll come with backpack straps. Well, it does. He does have a secondary that goes over his body, so maybe it connects to the secondary as well. Who knows? We'll find out soon, I guess. Anyway, yeah, cool. There you go. And I think that's everything. So we'll just run into the usuals and have a quick recap. I do this every episode. I used to do these as like special episodes. Now I just talk about it literally every single episode. So it's become less special. But obviously, when we get some updates, I will add to them. And I know that there's elements of like leaks and stuff that say some stuff about 2025 as well. But I can't put them in until technically we've had some sort of official name only sort of vibe, if you get what I'm saying. So I will keep it as it is, as normal. Starduster and Nemesis Mortal are left, and of course, hopefully we'll be turning Starduster at least green in 3 days' time. Can you believe it? Crazy. 2 in a row, Monday and Tuesday, and I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff on Friday. So here's to hoping I get at least one evening off this week. But anyway, yes, Nemesis Immortal, still not sure exactly when he's going to be showing up, but I can't wait. Honestly, looks amazing. 2025, what are we expecting for PULSECON? I'll say it one more time for the people in the back. My expectations for PULSECON are based on those Amazon listings that went up recently. Xandar, Saw Viper, Leatherneck, and Dial Tone for that retail wave of 4 reveal. And then, of course, you've got on the other side Heavy Duty and Law and Order, which I think are possible. The fact that we know the Claw is coming for so long is a possibility. We might even see the Claw. And then, of course, you've got the Cobra Viper, Mindbender, and Rock and Roll for the Retro series. All those listings have appeared on Amazon. And one Legacy as well, the Legacy RR Tommy, which a lot of people are just saying is the Firefighter now that that's sort of been leaked. So I'll just say that as well. Yep. Tommy, but I won't put it on the screen just yet. Percentage chance of leaks on Thursday evening, 105% chance, I would say, Flaffle. What time is the Joe time slot on Friday? We don't know, Stanley. My concern is that they're going to be last, because I think they were last on the last PulseCon, if my memory serves, and we had to wait for ages for it, but it's cool. Oh, I've been sent a HasLab list, not complete. Why did you send it to me then, Darren? Okay, so Star Wars have had the Katana. That got 8,810 backers at $500, 49999. The Razor Crest, 34999, got 28,893. So that, obviously the Razor Crest got more, but not by much, 28,893. And the Rattler got 2896. So, you know, it's a good chunk more, but it's not far off, is what I'm saying. The Ghost for Star Wars got 21,768. Interesting. That was 49999 as well. They're way more expensive. Mos Eisley Cantina also, obviously, well, there's the split, wasn't there? 3999 or 499999999. 14,737. So there's definitely been like a bit of a drop off with Star Wars in that sense. Unicron was 574.99. I forgot about that, and that got 11,200. Not much. 27,104 Victory Saber, 27,442 Deathsaurus, and Legacy Optum Omega Prime 28,230. So Omega Prime got more as well. That's weird to me. Razor Crest, Omega Prime. Then we've got Galactus at 30,811. I'm just seeing if there's any others on here. Okay, so it is it's the 4th highest HasLab of all time. It's not bad, is it? Not bad at all. Not Joe, but do you think we'll see the Ghostbusters HasLab? Nictimus Prime, yes. Yeah, I do. God, I look at some of the prices on these things, right? $500, $350, $500, $500, $574. Deathsaurus was only $180, so that's why that did big numbers. And Omega Prime was $250, right? That's probably why they also did really, really big numbers. And the Asian market, yes, the Transformers do have the Asian market to their advantage, I guess. The Sentinel, $350. Galactus, $400. Hellcharger, $350. Giant Man, $200. Then for us, the Sky Striker was $225. Hiss was $300. Dragonfly was $275, which to this day, I think is an absolute feat of epic proportions. How they did a 275 for the Dragonfly, I will never know. And the Rattler 325, not bad. The Proton Pack for Ghostbusters, $400. The Ghost Trap, $300. We've done all right. We have done all right for pricing so far, but this is the problem in it. And again, I know that a lot of that, Marvel, Star Wars, that you have to add a little bit because it's not technically theirs. Transformers is sort of a shared situation. But yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Cheers. So I don't know if we're going to get all of that Pulse for PulseCon. not all of that, but all of that on screen right now. But there's a likelihood we'll see a good percentage of it, if not all of it. And then, 1027, maybe 1027 has the Claw, or Nemesis Immortal, or both. Or maybe the Claw's coming on PulseCon and Nemesis Immortal for 10. I don't know. Who knows? But I feel like we might know a bit closer to the day when it all leaks what's actually going to happen. But in any case, that is that. Name only reveals that are available still for us and only: Footloose, Heavy Duty, Law and Order, Blowtorch, Retro Rock and Roll, Frag Viper, Dr. Mindbender, and Cobra Vipers. And of course, we've also got the Firefighter, which I guess we can put on the rumors or the leaked official list. NYCC, yes, Talib. On the 18th of October, there will be a little bit of G.I. Joe at NYCC. Yeah, so there could be an opportunity there for a pre-order reveal or something. Lawrence, Dragonfly was a real steal. It was, wasn't it? At 275, 274.99. Amazing. Yeah, there you go. I said on the previous episode yesterday that I won't be doing Let's Talk classified videos for a lot of these guys, because I won't have enough time to get it done before the 13th. There's no, I mean, I could hustle and flow for like tonight and tomorrow and do Let's Talk classified heavy duty if there's no news. But the way things are going, it's probably going to be news burst central. And also the amount of work that goes into those episodes, I need months at a time to get them done. So unfortunately, I won't be doing that. If we come away from PULSECON and there's still a few of these are safe, then I might do a few and stuff. But yeah, no. Chris, did you see more items on Pulse change shipping dates from October 1st? To what, Rexship? Road Pig, Raptor, 60th Sniper, and Night Force 2-pack. I didn't, but what date did they change it to is more important on that one. Is it coming earlier? Is it coming later? I imagine later. Or was it a different date before October 1st? Because I don't know what the date was in the first place they were expected to ship. I really don't pay attention to that sort of stuff. November the 1st. So it's moved. They've moved up a month. Okay. That's, par for the course, I guess. Chris, are you going to assembly required? Word Burglar says he's performing. I am, Rachel. Yeah, I'm trying to, 100%. The aim is to do it, yes. So is Firefighter confirmed? Basically, Stygian. Yeah. Delayed a month. Got it. Still 15th October for UK. UK is in a weird, different kind of time bubble to classified series when it comes to classified series. The Goldheads SC and Twilight Guard was moved to 9/13. Yet the Falcon Quarrel 2-pack is listed on Walmart Canada as October the 3rd. It's so hard keeping track of all the date changes that I don't bother. What happens is I go, yep, cool, they're out, I'm getting them. Or if I've already pre-ordered them, I just wait till they come out. I'm not that bothered about delays, honestly. It just gets too, and then for the longest time, it was like, oh, these have been pushed out for a month. And then they all delivered a week later. And it's like, half the time, it's not even what do you know what it reminds me of? Remember in the old computers when it would be like this on Apple computers as well, when it would be like, they give you the progress bar of something and it would go 2 days, 1 minute, 16 hours, 23. And it'd be like, it would just be like doing this depending on what tab you had open. And it would be like either 3 days for the download or 30 seconds. And it would be so pointless having a progress bar. It would be like there was no point having that progress bar because it went like this until it got, oh, it's downloaded. Brilliant. So yeah, that always made me laugh. That's what it feels like with these dates. It's like they just go, it's going to be out here. It's going to be a month later. It's going to be next year. It's going to be now. It's in your hand. It's like, how did that happen? So yeah, I don't really pay much attention to that unless the delay is massive or we're waiting for something and there's no word on it. That's slightly different. I don't ever pay attention to the ship dates when I get a shipping notification. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, yeah, cool. 60th moved up to 9/17. Night Force 2-pack is September 12th. See, like, it's just throw a date in there. Why not? Did someone say Iron Grenadier Bat? Shut up, Scott. Anyway, cool. That's that. Digital renders, I've done that. There you go. Dial tone, Leatherneck, Saw Viper, Claw with Pilot, technically, Xandar, and Wild Weasel. There you go. I think that's everything it is. I am going to call it a night there, guys. Thanks for joining me again for another explosive, dynamic, and ridiculous episode from me at the Full Force. there's probably going to be more news in the next couple of days, isn't there? I wouldn't be surprised. Iron Grenadier Firefighter, that would be funny. Is Heartwrench still on our list of possibilities? I don't think so, Scott, at the moment. Not that we're aware of. Aluminium. There you go, Von. Anyway, I'll probably see you tomorrow night, the way things are going. And have a great rest of your evening, your Tuesday evening. Get all excited for the Rattler, nearly on its way. Nearly on its way. Hasn't even begun, I don't know, doing anything yet, probably. But congratulations to the team for doing amazing on that. Hurry up and get Wrath of Cobra out, please. Can't wait for that as well. And what was the other thing we talked about tonight? Oh, Skybound. Get on the insiders and get involved with that link, because I think it'll be... I mean, how amazing would it be to go and see the movie in LA, the 1987 movie in LA in a theater, and then talk Skybound comics for the rest of it? Like, I can't think of anything better, actually. That would be so cool. In any case, it's been a pleasure. Stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. Did I get another? Sorry, I got another question in the last second. Are we getting Darklon? Says Jason. Yes. Yes, we are. Yeah, stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, 1, 2, 3. Full force. Latest team.
That's it for this instalment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. See you next time, and as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos, and as always you can keep up with the show after listening by following on X, formerly Twitter, @The Full Force, liking the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Full Force. We've also added a brand new Instagram, so check us out there as well, @The Full Force Podcast, and if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback and questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click on the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.